Mr. Jerry Vaval. What's going on, blood?
JTG.
What up, what up, what up?
Let's welcome the people to another episode of Giant Fundamentals, the podcast dedicated to mental health. So, how's your mind? How's your heart? How's your body? What are you grateful for?
Man, heart, mind, body, feeling well, shedding a lot, mentally, emotionally, physically.
Mm.
I've been in the gym. The gym has really been my sanctuary as of late. I'm getting
Woo!
that space where I'm enjoying and anticipating waking up early to go to the gym, man.
Mm-hmm.
Getting back to my reading routine, there's something that I recognized when it comes to reading for me, and it's because I stopped reading for maybe like I would say like close to the last year. I just wasn't reading anymore. I was like, I'm just gonna put it down for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But as I'm starting my reading routine again, I realized that reading is also another thing that centers me and grounds me.
Mm.
It really helps me to be calm and to put life into perspective and not feel overwhelmed. And I strongly believe this is why a lot of people have mental health issues because we don't have enough things that ground us, man. We're living in a society where it's just go, 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 work, 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 grind, 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 grind. And it's like, yo, we were not meant to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's so imbalanced. So getting back to the reading has allowed me to see like, okay, this is why I was reading. It's not just for information's sake, but it actually gives me a peace and a calm.
I love it. I love it. Is that part of your giant gratitude this week?
Yeah, that's my those are my gratitude. That's what I'm thankful for, man. Just kind of getting back to the center. And it's like it's so interesting because I've done these things for so long,
Mm.
for decades, like reading and exercising, but now I'm truly understanding what they do for me mentally, emotionally, and spiritually.
No, I love that. I love that. I think for myself, my mind is really focusing on what you said this week that you said I'm doing a good job at is mastering my mess or mastering my
Your,
own
your situation.
situation. That's what it was, mastering my situation. And then that kind of relates to the shameless plug last episode of control, right? And it was, today is actually my second favorite daughter of all time, Brielle's birthday, and she's 14, and spending that time with her over the weekend, I'm blessed to have great kids because when I asked her, "What do you want for your birthday?" she was like, "Oh, maybe a candle." I said, "Oh, I love you so much." So when she got a candle, and then I was like, "That's it." She's like, "Yeah." I said, "You know what? Get two candles." She's like, "For real?" I said, "Yeah, you deserve it." So just talking to her, and she expressed to me, and for parents out there that have teenagers, and I know you're walking into that realm, they just have these emotional ruts, right? And she told me like there was a month last month where she was just down, she was sad, and I was just like, me trying to be daddy, try to save the day, and I was like, oh, what was wrong? Well, that someone hurt you, your friends, a boy, like we gotta kill a nigga. What's up? And then she was like, oh no, nothing like that. She just felt like this, this sadness, this darkness. She thought it was her menstrual, but it was longer than that. And I realized that, my older daughter felt this way sometimes, my goddaughter. So just remembering that, and as well as understanding her difficulties in school and her schedule, instead of me being the Haitian that I am, right? Instead of me saying, no, you got to do this and control that, and you got to move this, and I'm going to do this, I was like, you know what? Yeah, just keep woo, 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 just trying to figure it out. I was like, you know what? I'm going to support you. You let me know where you need my help. I believe in you. And just give her those words of encouragement and just let her know I love her.
Man, that what you're describing right now, it brings something to my mind. Is a major lesson that I have experienced in the last maybe 48, 72 hours. It's like it just
Mm,
my mind where as men a lot of times, especially us who are very responsible. We want to do right by the people that are in our lives. We want to take care of our loved ones.
Yeah.
And the thing that really like blew my mind is that the people in my life, my family, I recognize that they don't necessarily want me to take care of them.
Mm.
They want me to care for them.
Ooh, that's a bar.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It blew my mind. And what you're expressing right now is moving away from, or just in that moment,
Mm-hmm.
not focusing on taking care of your daughter, but caring for her. And I think for a lot of us men, we don't know the difference between the two. We really think
Mm-hmm.
that taking care of those who are in our lives, our spouses, girlfriends, kids, we really think that when we take care of them, when we pay the bills and we pay for trips and we pay for different things and we provide financially, that that is actually caring for them. And
Right.
it's not. Caring for someone is sitting with someone in their emotions,
Mm-hmm.
letting them vent, telling them it's going to be okay, asking them, hey, is there anything you want me to do for you? You know, and just sitting with them in those emotions. And that really blew my mind. I'm like, okay, I need to learn how to not just take care, but care for.
Right. And it's funny you bring that up because shameless plug, the resentment episode, right? We talked about as a man, we're taking care, we're paying all the, utilities, taking care of the more, we doing everything. And then when our children or our partner comes to us and says, I need more, and
Yeah,
they just need more of that spiritual support, that bond, that emotional
yeah,
support, and we don't understand it, and now we have resentment. Like I'm doing all this, and now she's telling me she want more.
yes, bro, exactly.
Yeah.
You hit the nail on the head. Yep.
And another thing I hit was the gym. I've been hitting the gym. I'm rubbing my chest right now for those that listen. Because your boy, that thing, I'm hurting right now. I'm so sore. I've been stretching. Like, it's good though. It feels good. Like you said, just really enjoying the process. Like, I'm waking up like, oh man, what muscle group I'm gonna hit today? Like, well, how am
Mhm.
I gonna work out? How am I gonna sweat?
Yeah,
The energy that I feel, I feel renewed.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even this morning, I wanted it to be a little bit of a lazy morning, but I got up, I grounded myself, went outside barefooted, just walked around, listened to the birds, um, did some journaling, like just really centered myself. And it's really important, like you said, like the reading. Yeah, one of our core values always fill your head with good content. And the reading not only does that, but it relaxes you. Like you almost feel like the world stops and you're able to really focus. It's meditative, especially now that I'm really trying to like today I'm trying to spend the whole day off Instagram or any social media. Yeah, so that's really hard. So and I'm really trying to work up to one day just not having my phone for 24 hours. Right. So I'm glad that my body feels good. Now when it comes to my emotions, my heart, that leads into my gratitude for this week. And it's funny because even before coming on, you checked in on me because you was like, man, the last podcast, I felt a little distance in your emotions. And even last night, talking to my female best friend, Bensha, and she was like, there was some things she wanted to express that she felt like she couldn't express. And I was like, oh no, like, express it. She was like, oh, I just felt like it was in my place. I felt like I was being selfish. I was like, nah, like, we've been friends for over 20 years now. Like, have that ever been something that if you express something to me that, I had a disagreement with you or we fell out? She was like, no. She was like, I just didn't want you to have resentment towards me. And I was like, yeah, but that was never our story. Right. So we had a great heart to heart. And I was just grateful to have that great communication with her, with you, and other close people in my circle because that is something I think we all take for granted. I think we always focus on trying to have great communication with our romantic partners, but we neglect the great communication that needs to be had with our friendships and our family, where people can really hold you accountable.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for you checking in on me and like, yo, I feel this. What's going on, right? Without you having to fear, like, nigga, I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? And I'm
Yeah.
like, like, I love it. I love it. And I also told her like, but don't be afraid if I push back, right? Because that's what she was really afraid of. Like, oh, I didn't want to have to explain myself or answer your questions because you be. I was like, yeah, but me pushing back is also a sign of love for me because there's growth that's happening there. I'm taking everything you receiving, but if I push back, it's because I want to make sure like we have a balanced conversation and both sides are seen. That doesn't mean I'm going to sit there and harbor hard feelings against you. I'm not that type of person, right? So that's something that I'm grateful for and definitely appreciative. So thank you.
No, that's a good one. That's a robust gratitude right there.
Yeah, I know. It just, I guess maybe because I journaled right before I came on, it
That's what it is. Yep. Yeah,
came up out of me.
yeah, that's what it is.
Oh man. So I know you dropped a bar earlier, right? Talking about people don't really necessarily our friends, our family doesn't necessarily want us to take care of them, but to care for them.
Mhm.
But if you have any more bars for our Eminem section, mental health music, what you got for us this week?
Back to the good old. Well, he ain't Young Singma no more. He the king now.
Be the
J. Cole.
king.
Good old J. Cole, man. The track that he has called "Pride Is the Devil" featuring Little Baby. Yeah, what he says. He says, "Bright lights passing me in the city. It's emergency. I'm
Mm,
thankful I made it past my 30s. No one murdered me. Still
hmm
vividly the nigga that pulled a gun on me. I'm petrified, but I'm moving like I got no sense of urgency. Pride make a nigga act way harder than he really be. Pride hide the shame when the city cut off all utilities. Pride hide the pain of growing up inhaling poverty. Pride make a nigga feel the way that you would follow me." Yeah, so I'll stop right there.
Pride is the devil. That's my song,
Yeah,
bro.
that's a jam right there. But the reason why I chose it is because pride, man. Pride will make you lose everything in life. It can make you lose from your most prized possessions, most important relationships to your life.
Hmm
One thing that he said, still remember vividly the nigga that put a gun on me. I'm petrified, but I'm moving like I got no sense of urgency.
mm
That's what pride will make you do. It's like, you scared,
mm
you're in the face of death, but pride is making you act like you hard, like you ain't scared, like you good.
hmm
Yeah.
No, I'm glad that you brought that up because when I think about growing, my younger years, elementary, middle school, there were many times where you had to act tough to try to be accepted
Yeah.
by your peers or to even survive your peers.
Yeah.
And it was like, and I don't like that about myself. Like sometimes when I reflect back, it's like, dang, I was so scared.
You used to do that?
Yeah, yo, I used to get bullied all the time. So then that's why like my words used to be so sharp because I can't let this dude try me. Yeah, he might beat me up, but people will remember the bar that I set in class, right? Like, so I was that dude, and I'm on brand. I'm gonna say something that's gonna embarrass you. I might get beat up later, but I won in class. You know what I'm trying to say? So there was a lot of times where I ran home.
You're gonna win somewhere.
I'm gonna win somewhere. I'm gonna get one punch. You know what I'm saying? So other times where I ran home because of that fear. I didn't have like boys to come to the school. My brother wasn't gonna come to the school and all that stuff. I didn't have that. So it was like, do I lose now in front of everybody or do I win now in class and I just run home after school?
Mm.
Right? And it's like for me, and I don't even know how to explain this because my kids, they live in a different time and I'm not, from what they tell me, they don't really experience the things that I've experienced. But it's like I always wanted my kids to feel like you don't have to be hard, right? You don't have to pretend, especially my son. You don't have to act like you some
Yeah,
type.
that's not their world, kid. That's not
That's not their world, but
their. They not even.
Coach
They
said
ain't
it.
worry about that. That's not
They
their
don't have
world.
to worry about. And sometimes I'm envious of that. Like, dang, y'all don't even have to.
I know.
Yo, I remember there was a time I had to ask my mom for like $60 so I wouldn't get beat up. And then trying to tell her she don't understand. She just like, "What would you need this money and whatever?" Because I had a bully, you know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to fight back, but it's like this is not even me, and it's like I don't even know. It was nowhere for me to run.
Yeah, that's not your nature, though.
That's not my nature. But it's like, so when he said, "Buddy pulling a gun out," and I'm acting like there's no sense of urgency, I've seen that so many times. Not
Yeah.
only in my life, but in other males' life, where it's like, bro, it's okay to be scared. Like this nigga's about to take your life.
Yeah. 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 I have a very interesting story with bullying because
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't. Oh, was I bullied? Nah, can't say I was ever bullied. Teasing, yes, but bullying, nah. But I was a bully. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
was a bully. Yeah, but I remember there was one kid. He was He was in a grade higher than me, and it was so crazy. He was trying me. And I never even recognized he was trying me. It's after some time I realized I'm like, oh, this nigga trying me. I think I was in the eighth grade, seventh or eighth grade. He was in the ninth grade,
Mm-hmm.
and one day we got off the school bus and
Mm-hmm.
he said something to me, and I didn't say anything to him. I just walked up in his face and just was like, "What's up?" And then his boys were like, "Oh shoot, he wanna." He said something. I forgot what they said. Oh, he wanna phase or something like that,
Yeah.
whatever. And then from that day on, he just never bothered me again.
Mm.
He never bothered me again. And I remember seeing him when I was older, and like around like what? I had just came back from college, so I had to be like around 20. Yeah, it was late. Yeah, it was like 29.
Okay.
Came at the gym and he tried to like smile at me, say what's up. I was like, what the hell you looking at me for? I just didn't know. Yeah.
Still being mean.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. Like for me, like I bullied, but not because I wanted to. It's because I didn't want to get bullied.
Mm.
Yeah, I was acting hard and tough, and that's not me, man. That's literally not. It's not who I am. All right, but unlike you, I just felt like I had to. Like I I just had to morph into that.
Yeah. I think for me it was just I was always lost. I was like, do I act like I'm in the prison yard and just try to like, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Or do I just try to be I was just so conflicted.
It literally was though. It really school, the neighborhood. It was all a prison yard. It was. Oof, that thing was a dog eat dog world.
And then
Yo,
you got the dogs chasing you.
right? It's that dog. You not see I shoot you on there, bud.
Look, 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 look.
Oh,
And
God.
that's funny, and I think that leads into our main topic, right? Where basically the title is MJ versus LeBron James, Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. The giant differences between traditional and modern masculinity.
Before we continue, because I just sent you that title and I didn't give any type of explanation.
No.
So I want you to tell me when you hear that title, when you first saw it, what instinctually came to your mind?
Um, First thing I thought about was how both men were successful in two different times, two different NBA careers.
Hmm.
Both of them highly successful. I also thought about it was this clip I saw on Instagram. I think there was this he was either an African holistic doctor or a Rastafarian, and he was from the he's from that part of the world, the eastern part of the world, like the either Africa or he was living in London. I said all to say is that they were asking him, an American was asking him, what does he feel about masculinity? Like, what is his thoughts? And he was like, well, it really just depends on your culture. Because he was like, a masculine man in the United States is totally different than a masculine man in Africa, for so to speak. And he was just saying, like, it's okay, like, the masculine men in America act this bravado and act all And he said, the masculine men on my side of the world, we don't, you know, you're a man, you're a man, you're a man. Like, we respect you, and you don't have to act a certain way. You don't have to pump your chest up in public. So when I saw the title, that's what I thought about. I thought about MJ being more of like the traditional capitalistic masculine men that he forced his way, he won the war, Captain America type stuff. And I felt like LeBron James was more like the subtle, like, yeah, you know, I won too. You know what I mean? I went to war a couple times, I lost. Like, it was just a different way of success. And I feel like if people were to put a test to it, they would say that MJ was more of a man than LeBron James. Right? So that's the thoughts that I had especially when you said traditional and modern masculinity. So I was like, oh, this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah. So, I just wanted to see your thoughts because that's exactly why I titled it that. Because, of course, you know, we're men, we watch sports, we love basketball, so on and so forth. And what a lot of us don't realize is that every generation has a different set of rules and a different understanding and a different relationship with certain things. So MJ MJ is a baby boomer,
Yeah.
LeBron is a millennial.
Yeah.
The way that baby boomers look at masculinity is very different from how millennials look at masculinity. And we can actually see the distinct difference in both MJ and LeBron. See it, right? So when it comes to pretty much traditional masculinity, it's like it's how can I say it? It's associated with rigid, stereotypical roles that emphasize emotional stoicism, like just being like, you know, stoic.
Yeah.
Um, put a lot of emphasis on physical strength. Who's the strongest? Who's the biggest? Who's the most dominant? While modern masculinity, it embraces a broader, more fluid concept of gender that encourages emotional expression. This word egalitarianism or egalitarian relationships, which is like there's equality between men and women. Like, okay, we have
What's
a
the
whole
word? What's the word? Galentines?
egalitarian. No, egalitarian,
Okay, got you.
right?
Yeah, more like the more like more love between.
No, it's not more love. It's
Okay.
saying this. It's like, okay, man and woman, they're together, they're married, they live together. And we say, all right, the man and the woman both say, okay, how are we going to take care of the kids? So the in times past, the woman did everything for the child.
Right. Okay.
You know, changed the diapers, took them baths, so on and so forth. But now statistics are showing that men are like involved with that type of care with the child just as much as the women. But this is millennials.
So let me ask you, because it's something I was journaling this morning about parenting, and all of our friend groups and parents, sometimes we feel like we're not good enough parents. We have this thing in our back of our mind.
Right.
And one of the things, especially since I don't live with my kids full time, I always have this thing like maybe I'm not connected to them enough, or I'm like a dead because I'm not always around them. But then I also wrote that men have been socialized to not be a part of the kid's life that much, not like women, because women are the savior of the kids.
Yeah.
Right? So the man is the savior of the family, but women are the savior of the kids. So it's natural for a woman to always be around her kids.
I'll say this. I want to tweak that. We're not the savior of the family. We're the providers of the family. We're the protectors of the family.
Right. That's the word I had in my mind.
Yeah, women are they're the caretakers. They're the saviors. But now with millennials, what's happening is we have said we share those responsibilities with women. Women share those other masculine, quote unquote, masculine responsibilities with us. So that's what the egalitarian is. It's like now we're sharing roles and responsibilities. We're more so focused on what's going to work for the family versus staying stuck in these rigid roles.
Right. So that's where the 50-50 conversations are coming up. And look, I like it. I would love to see my woman cut grass every once in a while. So I just but yeah, I didn't sorry, I didn't mean to cut off your thought, but you were
No,
saying
it's good.
like, the millennial way and the egalitarian and
Yeah. So it's like what I just said. That's
Mhm.
more so sharing roles, and it's so interesting because remember when LeBron and the Cavs came back down 3-1, right?
Yeah.
Immediately, what took place right after that? What did MJ do?
I don't he talk trash?
No, nah, he never gonna talk trash public now.
Oh, he reached out.
No,
I'm lost in.
yeah, he dropped the Last Dance.
I didn't even realize.
Yeah, the Last Dance came out maybe a few years after. It came out during COVID. Yeah, it came out during
Yeah,
COVID. It came
COVID.
out.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, what's most important about that is once LeBron won, there's reports that said MJ wanted to release it because he had the power to release the Last Dance at any given time that he wanted to.
That's true because they recorded it a while back.
In '98, that was in '98, right?
Yeah.
The Last Dance, but he never wanted to do anything about it. But the moment LeBron won the 3-1, he said, "Okay, let's start putting things together."
Wow.
And the reason why that is because what I think MJ considered him a baby boomer.
Yeah.
He's a baby boomer because I think he's born in '63.
Yes. Hmm.
So baby boomers, that generation has a different type of relationship towards competition than millennials do. It's like, oh, you're not gonna one up me. Oh, you just won 3-1. All right, no, I gotta make sure that I'm on top.
Right.
Versus millennials, we're more collaborative when it comes to us competing. It's like, yo, we're gonna compete, we're gonna play our hardest, but then once we're done, all right, we good, we shake hands, we cool, we're gonna go out to dinner, so on and so forth.
Hmm.
But that generation is not so they're not like that as much. They have their own little silos.
Yeah.
Like they're not literally mingling like that. And it's so crazy because when you look at why people argue who's the GOAT between LeBron and MJ, if you really look at the core of it, it's literally about generational values.
Yep.
That's really what it's all about. Is because MJ looks like the tougher one. He played 82 games for 12 seasons straight. He's cutthroat. He's gonna cut your head off, and he's a killer. He's a killer. He's a killer. LeBron not a killer. Yeah, he wins, but you know, just that's the difference between the baby boomers and the millennials.
Right. So it's funny because when you talk about how collaborative millennials are and how baby boomers are in silos, the baby boomers, I always feel like everyone's an enemy. Like for
Mm,
them, everyone is an enemy. Everyone is like, don't trust this. Like even growing up, oh yeah, don't trust this person. Don't trust that person. Like don't let this person in your house. Don't do that. And it's like, dang,
yeah,
and then it has us like hyper vigilant. Like yo,
yeah,
we can't even move. We can't do that. Whatever.
yeah.
Like my parents, they have friends, but I feel like I'm closer to my friends than my parents were to their
You
friends.
know, and that's another thing. I don't think that generation had friends for real. I don't think they had friends. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think they had friends for real because
Mm-hmm.
it seemed. I'm gonna say seemed because I don't know because I'm not in
Mm-hmm.
the generation. I was a kid, but it seems as if they were never vulnerable with each other of what was really going on. It's not until shit hit the fan, like everybody found out, this nigga got this woman pregnant,
Yeah.
and that's when it's like, that's what everybody knows. But they
Yeah.
didn't. It don't seem like they really confided with each other like that. There's this woman that used to come to my mother-in-law's house all the time, bro. At least once a week.
Right.
And then my wife would be like, your friend, this and that to her mom. She said, no, she's not my friend. It's like, whoa, like she's not your said no. I would never be friends with somebody like that. And we're like, the lady come over here every week. What do you
Every
mean? He said, yeah, she's not my friend because if I need something, she will be the very last person I would ever call. I was like, that's interesting. But there's a woman that she never sees, she never speaks to. She said, "This will be the first person I'll call if I need something."
Wow.
I'm like, wow. So it's yeah. So it's
So
important.
it's very interesting. And talking about the generational differences in values, I feel like this is just my opinion. I feel like the baby boomer generation is sometimes jealous of how the millennials move.
Oh, baby boomers and Gen Xers. Yeah, I
Gen
remember.
X, like,
Yeah, the
hmm
Gen Xers, yeah. I remember when I was looking to get my feet wet in Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce,
yeah,
and one of the women that was really trying to get me in, she she was like, "Man, I just love you millennials. Y'all just move so differently. I wish I was born in y'all time." She was a baby boomer. She's like, "I wish I was born in y'all time. Y'all just do this. Y'all move and shake, that, so on and so forth." I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting." But I think as millennials, we've we've questioned a lot of things.
yeah,
We question a lot of things, and we just said we're not going to go with the norm anymore. For example, baby boomers big on traditional values,
yeah,
working traditional 9 to 5 jobs, going to church on the weekends, doing it all over again when the week starts.
hmm
Versus millennials, we say, nah, we not gonna vibe with that. We're gonna create our own businesses, and we're okay with struggling creating our own businesses. We rather travel than actually buy a home.
yeah,
What else do what we say? We're like, man, this church stuff, man, that's just mind control. Fuck that shit. We ain't dealing
yeah,
with like we have been disruptors, right? And the
yeah,
Gen Z to a whole nother level.
hmm
So that's the difference. And you look at MJ and LeBron. We can just go right back to that.
yeah,
MJ, he went into corporate America. For a lot of us that don't understand, the NBA is corporate America, okay?
yeah,
We're looking at it simply as basketball, but it is corporate America. There are rules, there are other obligations that these guys have
hmm
outside of just playing on the court. Now, MJ, he paved the way for LeBron.
yep,
The way that he did it was he followed the rules. He followed the rules. He did what he was supposed to do. One of the main things was staying with the same team for
hmm
all the years that he played. Versus LeBron, which millennials love to do. Millennials don't stay put. It's a stat that shows that millennials, boy, we change jobs every 2, 3 years. Versus baby boomers, they stay at a job for 30, 40 years. So LeBron, in the prime of his career, it has never been done before. Talking about the age of 24, 25 years old, talking about I'm gonna leave this team here and I'm gonna go to another team to join up with two other superstars that are in the dead set of their prime. The reason why everyone went so crazy is
hmm
because at that time the baby boomers and the Gen Xers were still the leaders of the free world. They
yeah,
were leaders of the country. So what he did went completely against the traditional norms, against the traditional rules. So it was
hmm
like, what the heck? Like, yo, oh, he's soft. He can't win on his own, and all these different things. But he bucked those rules because that's what millennials do. We are looking to chart our own paths and just live with the results.
right,
Now we are becoming, yeah, we're like, man, what, we're inching close to 40. So yeah, about 10 years we're going to be completely leading the country in the next 10 years.
hmm
So but now, as you can see, as we step into that leadership role,
yeah,
people ain't tripping on LeBron moving no more. Now they're saying, wow, he won a championship with 3 different organizations. That's never been done before. So amazing. But before it was like, yo, that's a weak move. Why did he go to join D Wade and Chris Bosh in Miami and so on and so forth?
that's one thing about just humans. When you can prove your point, they will rewrite the narrative. History will
Oh,
rewrite the narrative, right?
Lord.
But while you're going through it, there's a lot of shit talking that's going on,
Absolutely.
and that's one other characteristic that I see is different between traditional and modern masculinity. When you talk about the baby boomers and millennials, we don't gatekeep as much. There's still gatekeepers, but we don't gatekeep as much. Kind of like with that lady from Chamber of Commerce. She was like, I know she wished she was born in this time because it's just less struggle to get to where she's going.
Yeah.
Right? If you watch The Pursuit of Happiness, like,
Oh,
man, that thing was tough, but
yo.
it was yo, you had to give that championship cry at the end of that,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Now we're able to cut that process in half. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep. Steve
So
Harvey said that too. Steve Harvey said that. He was like, yo, I wish I was born in this time. He said, man, y'all got all these things that make y'all successful. He said, I ain't have no social media. We didn't even have cell phones. We didn't have all this stuff. And I had to just go to this club here, go to this club here, meet this person here. There was no DM anybody. I wish I could just DM a bunch of people and, man, you know how easy that would be? I was like, wow, that's perspective.
perspective for real, and it's really not easy DMing all those people, but I
Nah,
understand. I
I understand.
understand.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand. Um, and that's funny because when I was in the event that I did a couple weeks back, they were talking about dating. There was a lot of Gen baby boomers and Gen Xers. It was mostly Gen Xers in that room, not baby boomers. So people that were like 45 to 55, right? And
45 to 55. So 45, that's on the edge of millennials.
yeah, but it was mostly Gen Xers.
Gen Xers, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like right at the edge. So they had some. I don't even want to say. Yeah, they had some common sense, but something. One of the guys, he was like, he was in his 50s. He was like, oh, when I was dating a girl, this whole 50-50 conversation, and men were men. I would go to her door,
Men were men.
and yeah, I would pick her up and open her door, and I would pay for all the dates and this and this and that. And the reason why is because I told him in today's world, dating is different. There's a Women are hip to the game, right? So there's a lot of times you're dating as a man and you're spending all this money and it's just a free meal for the woman. So what I do is usually I'll pay for the first date, and if it's a really good interaction, I'll say, "Hey, maybe the next date could be on you." And I said it never fails. That woman will never hit me back up or try
Mm,
to schedule that second date.
mm,
So then the women were like, "Well, you put that on yourself." I was like, "I'm glad I did because I do not want to pay for 5 and 6 dates and realize this is not going nowhere, and I just fed you for the last month." You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So, um, the Gen Xers were kind of uncomfortable with that stance. He
Mm,
was like, "Oh, when back in my day, I did this and I did that, and I courted and we did this," and I was like, "Yeah, but it was also gas was 99 cents back in your day."
Bruh, 50 cent, nigga. What the hell?
Exactly. I said going to the movies was $10.
Bro, no, it was $10 in our time when we were kids. Bro, it was like $4 in their time, man.
No, but when we were kids, they were our age. What I'm trying to say is like that
Oh
10
yeah, yeah. Okay, I see
difference.
what you're saying. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I was like, yo, you could take a girl out, wine and dine her, and it
Bruh,
costs you $100.
bruh.
My meal,
Not even.
not even right.
Not
My
even.
meal. Once we
Bruh,
sit down, the gratuity
bro.
is $100.
Let me tell you something, bro. The other day,
Uh-huh.
2 weeks ago, I took the kids to the movies
Woo.
with me and those two little kids. Bruh, I spent $100.
I was about to say it's at least 95.
I spent $100. I said,
Yes,
wow. I spent $100 on the tickets. They had popcorn. They both had drinks, and I had a popcorn.
that's it.
That's it, my boy.
Oh my
That's it.
God.
That's it. That's it. So now you're telling me a family outing, you gotta spend, and my wife wasn't even there. That's the crazy thing. She wasn't even there.
Jono, imagine if I took I have 4 kids.
Yeah. Well, she lit. You
Done.
fiend.
Finished. No, no, I can't do that. So if you're gonna call me less of a man because of that, like that's not like you said, you're
Yeah,
not understanding perspective and
yeah,
nuance.
yeah. Because the thing about it is, here's the thing. It's really, really hard
Mhm.
for a previous generation to understand the norms of the next generation.
Mm.
Is really hard because you're not living in our time. For example, Gen Z, I understand them to a certain degree, but I don't really get them.
Yeah.
Growing up, like for example, our boy Mark, I was having a conversation with him, right? And he was like, "Yo, I heard a song they were playing. What was it? Lauryn Hill's like that thing, that
That
thing."
thing.
So he was like, "Yo, I heard the kids listening to that." He was like, "Damn, I didn't know what they know about that, whatever." He's like, "You telling them, oh, yeah, I don't know about this, whatever, this and that and that." I said, "You know what's so crazy about it is that they're listening to it and they like the song, but they will never be able to have an emotional connection with that song like we do because that came out when we were like in middle school, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we heard it when it first
Mm-hmm.
dropped. So the buzz that that song had at that time, we experienced that.
Yeah.
They they can't experience it because they weren't at that time. They may like the song, but they will never be able to truly experience the essence, the emotions, the hype that was around that song at that time.
Yeah, they don't even know they don't even understand what that thing is in that song.
Exactly. How you gonna win if you ain't right with
We
them?
did.
Come again.
Come on, come again, and it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
so that is that always kind of boggles my mind how, and it was, I forgot, it was a book I was reading, and I think I was reading an excerpt from a book, but I think you read the book where it says that, or you remember this quote where it says that every generation always thinks they're the best generation.
Oh, that's the laws of human nature.
Yeah, laws of human nature.
Uh,
Every
yep.
generation. So you will always, it was always better back in my day, or it's
Yeah,
better
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because even in that book, Laws of Human Nature, Robert Greene, he discusses how the previous generation always says, "Oh, the current generation is weak." You
Yeah.
know, back in my day, we used to just tighten our belts and we should just work 30 hours a day and feel wow, all this garbage, right? But
Yeah.
it's so interesting because back in the 1500s, there was a tablet of stone that was written on, and in that tablet of stone, it was saying how I guess the whoever wrote on that tablet of stone was saying how this generation is not as strong as the next, as the
As
previous.
the
Like,
last.
I'm
Right.
wow, so this has been going on forever.
Right.
Like
It will
the
always go on.
yeah, it will always go on, man.
So
That's great.
let me ask you a question. So which generation or which masculine men do you feel like is better, the traditional or the modern?
I'm gonna go with the modern.
Mm.
I'm gonna go with the modern, and I don't just say I'm going with the modern because I'm living in that time,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm living at this time. But as millennials, the the baby boomers and the Gen Xers, because if you have older siblings like you have older siblings who are Gen Xers.
Yeah.
They raised us, so
Yeah.
we do have some of those principles,
Mm-hmm.
like rigid beliefs around manhood and what a man should do and what a woman should do. It's still there with us.
Yep.
But I would say the modern because one of the main reasons I would say the modern is because of the emotional expression.
Mm-hmm.
Because traditional masculinity, it often emphasizes, like I said, emotional stoicism, and it definitely discourages expressions of vulnerability, sadness, or fear. Like we
Yeah.
were just talking about in the Eminem, is like, yo, you know, you're scared, you about to lose your life, but this pride is making you act like you're tough, and you about to die.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in traditional masculinity, men were expected to be tough, self-reliant, and emotionally reserved.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone in. Versus modern masculinity recognizes the value of emotional expression and mental health.
Yeah.
There is a big growing acceptance that men can show vulnerability,
Mm-hmm.
seek help, and express emotions without being seen as weak.
Yes.
And for me, I think that's one out of many things. I think that's one of the biggest things is like we're sitting here acting as if we don't need help, we don't need anybody, and we're dying inside.
Yeah.
And we're just moving like robots.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, that's not healthy. You're literally gonna die early operating like that. And I love the fact that now we live in a time where, look, we can have a podcast like this, talk about men's mental health, talk about vulnerability, talk about relationships and how romantic relationships impact us and our mental health. Like we can talk about things like this where back in the day, during the Gen X and baby boomer time, and even further back, they weren't. These are not the type of conversations that people were even having amongst their friends and family members.
Yeah.
So I believe that there's a liberation. There is an emotional and mental liberation that
Mhm.
us as millennials are experiencing, and I do believe that maybe not baby boomers, but Gen Xers are looking at like, yo, dang, I wish we had that.
Yeah.
I wish I had that.
No, I mean that's perfectly put because in my life, I was both, right? I was when I was married, I was that traditional man where I didn't let my wife know what I was going on. If I had resentment towards my wife or my kids, I kept it inside. I just
Hmm.
found a way to release it some other manly way, whether it be playing ball, cutting the grass, whatever.
Yeah.
And now that I'm on the other side of it, as I'm developing myself more emotionally and mentally, using mental health to strengthen me, I'm like, oh yeah, I can't go back. I
Hmm.
can't go back because the 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 prison that I felt, the depths of the black hole emotionally that I felt in the past, I'm shocked that I survived that, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
Like, it was a scary place. Now that I'm here basking in the sunlight,
Bro,
now that go ahead.
you got out of it, but can you imagine living your whole life like that?
No, 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 no. Then I'll be grumpy just like the baby boomers. I'll be and I just never, I always envisioned myself being 75 and happy, like walking in shape, not even knowing that I'm that age, like just constantly moving, talking to the young people, like getting energy from them, telling, like, I'm all, like you said, I'm all about that collaboration and I want to collaborate to the day I die because there's so much life to live out there. And that generation, that traditional manliness, I appreciate it for where it has brought us as a culture, as a generation, as a country, but I ain't going back to that. I'm really not. And a lot of the influencers and people who preach that type of masculinity, they're weirdos. Just being weird. They're weirdos. Honestly,
They they just need healing. That's all it is.
no, they do, and they really do. And hopefully, they could tap into the podcast, get a little bit of that, get with their therapist because it's funny how they do it because they sense signs of weakness in a modern man, but they don't realize how weak they look
They
in their
don't realize
truth.
how not look. They don't realize how weak they are.
They are, yeah, 100%,
Yeah. The
100%.
vulnerability is strength, and you know, I would say for myself,
Hmm.
I I is I guess I'm in between
Hmm.
because I do have that the part of me with the traditional masculinity is there where I am very stoic.
Hmm.
I'm like, I don't really let people in like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I ain't trying to let people in like that. I'm doing better little by little because now I'm starting to see the importance of it. And honestly, I never let people in because I had to protect myself. There was nobody there to protect me. So I didn't know what else to do outside of just, being so guarded,
Hmm.
right? But in the same breath, it's funny because when I actually do let people in, it's like they know all of me. I'm completely vulnerable. I'm honest. I'm transparent. And I'm willing to give a lot of myself in terms of what I've been through, what I've experienced, so on and so forth. So I feel like I'm in between.
Hmm.
But I would say if it's a percentage, I would say I'm, let's say 40% traditional, 60% modern.
I should have played the lotto. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, what would you say? What would you say your percentage is? You.
I'm like 80-20. I'm
Yeah.
like 80% modern and 20% traditional. But what I will say is that 20% is a strong 20%. Like it's my base,
Mm.
right? Because of how I provide, how I care, how I'm
Who your
relentless,
father is?
who my father is, right? So even though like I have more of that nurturing, what's that word you use? The the
Egalitarian.
egalitarian. Like when we play ball, I'm more like I want everyone to like. I'm not trying to do it all on myself,
Yeah.
right? I want everyone to kind of give
But so you on a LeBron tip because that's why people
100.
LeBron. That's why people get on LeBron. He passed the ball too much.
He
Dog.
does, and I understand his thought process. But like LeBron, when we down and I need to carry the team, I will do what I need to carry the team too. You know what I'm trying to say? So
Finals, huh?
yeah, exactly. So there are times where that traditional man does come out. It's just using my emotional agility to know when it should be there and when it shouldn't, right? And like J. Cole said, gun to the face, that's not time to be acting like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's not time to be like, yo, I can't believe you got a gun, because you ain't got a gun. So relax. You know, it's time to diffuse and work like, yo, man, what's up? You need my wallet? I got you. Here you go. Live to fight another day.
Yep.
Yep. What you gonna say?
No, I wasn't gonna say anything. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to say I love you.
Love you too. Until we pod again.
Let's get it.
Thank you so much for joining us. And remember, the man that says he can and the man that says he can't are both right. Which one are you? Street cred was a major priority, and no respect for any authority. If you love school, you were in the minority. Can't be yourself, only way was conformity. In the dark, I prayed, in the jungle.